Zillow just got hit with another class action lawsuit, and this time it's even got RICO claims.
Oh yeah, here we go.
One of our most watched videos was, hey, Zillow sucks. You know, we've talked about Zillow before, but in the past, we talked about some of the reasons we didn't think it was good for the consumer because of the quality of the agents and some of the things that were involved. Well, Zillow, they're kind of the 800-pound gorilla. Most people don't know this. They're actually a real estate broker across the country in every state. I'm pretty sure in every state now that they've actually became a broker. And so they have actually become competition for a lot of real estate brokers. At the same time, a lot of people, a lot of teams, and some brokerages actually depend on Zillow for the livelihood of their business.
Yeah, a lot of people that we know. And this is Betsy, and that's Alan from Virginia Beach.
Yes, I forgot. In case you don't know, that's who we are. So I'm hot on this one. I think I'm going to take my hat off on this one. So this is so hot, unbelievable, this topic. So Zillow has just had charges filed for fraudulent business practices. And this time it is that they've brought it into a class action and they're claiming RICO claims, which, they're not the mafia, but sometimes you kind of think that might be what are.
We've actually said that they were kind of like that for forever because they kind of put those
They're
people
forceful. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what's going on in this lawsuit. This time, Zillow they've had a couple of programs. They had their preferred agent and they've got the Flex program, and they're always renaming and twisting things a little bit. But this time it named 10 different plaintiffs across 8 states, and it actually included Zillow Home Loans. Yes, they have a home loan. We're going to talk about that because that's huge in this suit. And they actually named 2 real estate brokers and 1 real estate team. And it's just the beginning. They just did this so that they could file the claim and show that they're going to have the actual Zillow's being named, Zillow Home Loans, brokerages are being named, and they put a team in there, which is going to open the door for, I think, them to name some more teams going into the future.
There's a lot of people that we know that are already scared of this.
Yeah. So the reason they named it, this is so big, is they said that Zillow is operating basically as a criminal enterprise. In real estate, we have what's called RESPA, Real Estate Settlement and Procedure Act. And the Real Estate and Settlement Procedure Act, RESPA, basically says that you can't collect fees without disclosing fees, and you can't collect fees with certain parties without at all sometimes, but a lot of them you can do it, but you have to disclose it up front. Well, you also can't have what's called undue influence. Particularly, you can't steer people to somewhere that you're making money without disclosing it. Mm-hmm. So here's what's gone on. In the past, Zillow it started out just as an online lead source. People would call them, they would sell the leads to agents. If agents would pay a flat fee per lead or a flat fee per month to get a certain number of leads, and agents would go prospect those leads because they showed an interest by looking at Zillow online. Now, Zillow did this because they made a very simple and easy to use search engine.
Right, but now saying that, what people think is when they hit that button, they think that they're actually getting the listing agent, which is the sad thing. They don't think that they're just getting some fly-by-night brand new agent off the street, which is what they're typically getting.
And that's one of the points in the lawsuit, is that actually they deceive consumers, they are saying, into thinking that they are getting the listing agent, when reality is they don't send it to the listing agent. They send it to agents who are in now what they call their Flex program. Mm-hmm. Now, the Zillow Flex program changed a few years ago to where they started out collecting a referral fee, a smaller referral fee. I think it started at either, I don't know if it was 25 or 30% it started at, where Zillow then said, hey, we're going to send you these leads, but you're going to send us a percentage of the commission, 25 or 30%. It's now up to 40% with rumors that it's going to go to 50. We haven't seen that yet, but we do know it's at 40 across the board in the Flex program.
Of the commission.
Of the total commission on that side. So What's going on is Zillow is saying, hey, we're going to give you these leads that we generate, and you're going to pay us 40%. Now, nowhere is it disclosed that Zillow, a real estate brokerage, is getting paid in this deal. Most of those consumers have no idea that they were sent to that agent not because that agent fit a certain profile that fit their needs, but because that agent is the Zillow Flex agent in their market. Automatic, that's the Zillow Flex agent, and markets have multiple Zillow Flex agents typically, but they get those leads because they signed up for this program, and it's all about statistics and numbers. Now, here's the real part. Named in the lawsuit is also, a couple of years ago, Zillow bought a big real estate CRM called Follow Up Boss. All the Zillow Flex teams are required to use Follow Up Boss, and they are required to allow Zillow access into their Follow Up Boss. So what is going on is Zillow now has access to any piece of data that person has put in their database. It could be personal information, it could be things about the family, intent, likes, non-likes. Zillow has the ability to bring that data in to not just, when you register online, you might give them your name, your address, your phone number, and your email. Now they have access to anything that agent could possibly have about you in their database, which is pretty scary. But the real thing is Zillow has the ability to monitor their CRM and Follow Up Boss. And what the lawsuit is claiming is Zillow is monitoring the conversations, because if those agents call you through Follow Up Boss, which the Flex program requires them to do, those calls are then recorded. Zillow is now taking those calls, they say.
And the text messages are too.
Yeah. Zillow now says that the lawsuit is claiming that Zillow is monitoring those calls. And if agents were not referring them to Zillow Home Loans, if they were referring them to a different lender based on what the agent felt was best for the client, but not to Zillow Home Loans, that they are now penalizing those agents as far as quality of leads and number of leads. So that, if it's proven, will be a direct violation of RESPA, because it's, which is a federal national rule. So when you take a look at some of the other allegations involving this, they're really framing Zillow that this has been a coordinated effort over the past few years to go to the Zillow Flex program, to acquire access to the CRM. Instead of building one that they required Flex agents to do, they just bought one of the best. Follow Up Boss is a great CRM, bought it and brought it underneath their control. And then recently, they even changed the use agreement that said, even if you're not a Flex agent, we have access to your Follow Up Boss data if you have any clients that have ever been on Zillow. So we can have our clients and they go to Zillow. Zillow's easy to use, but we're not a Zillow Flex agent. We don't share any information with Zillow. But if we were using Follow Up Boss, they would have the ability to pull your data and actually send it to other agents or send it to their home loan division without our approval. So that's named in the lawsuit.
That's crazy.
Then again, they specifically talked about the contact agent and the request agent, that they believe they're contacting the listing agent because they want to know information about that house. When realistically, they are getting an agent, most likely a team agent, most likely a newer team agent that has never seen the house, knows no more than the person is reading online, because Zillow imports the remarks and the photos. So they're then getting an agent who most likely, and we've seen this over and over on our listings that are on Zillow,
So, well, yes, because the agency had a deal with Zillow Showcase, who tried to get us to say, we should use Zillow Showcase because it would really help our sellers, and we'll do anything to help our sellers, right?
Right.
So we tried it one time.
Right. But here's what happens. They take those listings and they send the leads to Zillow Flex agents.
We didn't think that was the case.
Take them away from us. But the real thing is, what we've seen over and over is we've had somebody want to come see one of our listings. We've been there sometimes because of the price point. We're there. The agent shows up. That is the first time the buyer in a high-end luxury property is ever meeting the agent because they got them off of Zillow Flex.
Oh, which has been horrible for us. I mean, they didn't even know it was septic. I was like, or what septic was. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh
so
my gosh.
what happens is it is without a doubt deceiving the consumer on who they're going to be in contact with or the quality of the agent. Zillow sells this as you're getting the best agent in town, you're getting the best agent. Well, quite often these teams are number one because they sell a lot of transactions, but that's just it. They're transactional. They're not relationship driven. They're not about what's best for the client. They're about a numbers game because Zillow is putting pressure on the teams to produce numbers. They have what's called speed to lead. They monitor how fast they get in touch with them. Yep. They look at close rates. They look at how many times they contact them. You know, if you tell us, hey, we're not going to be doing anything for 3 to 6 months, we're okay with that. A Zillow Flex team, they want them contacting you 20 times in the first 30 days or some ridiculous number that they just want. Do you really want that? If you've told them, hey, we're not ready yet or we're waiting. But a couple of other things in here that are really crazy is the Zillow home loan business. Of course, Zillow makes tons of money. That's not disclosed that there was an affiliation and they had financial benefit for sending you to them. And then that the Zillow Home Loans is cherry picking the highest qualified buyers. And actually, because they know that they can afford it, because they have all this data, they're offering them Zillow Home Loans at higher interest rates than they're going out there.
Oh,
So,
I know, that was crazy when I read that. Crazy.
right. And that multiple agents told investigators that they were dropped from the program specifically because they recommended lenders who better serve their clients' needs instead of sending them to Zillow Home Loans. And then one of the last things, and this was crazy. Oh, here it is. Zillow uses follow-up boss to eavesdrop. The Zillow managers are allegedly traveling to the offices specifically to meet with the Flex team leaders to give them instructions that they can't put in writing. So they're coming in and telling them basically, hey, you'll get better leads, more leads if you have this high a capture rate with Zillow Home Loans. They can't put that in writing because it's illegal. So they say that they have proof because involved in this lawsuit are some of the Zillow Flex team leaders are now helping the government against Zillow because they're saying they would send reps to us to talk to us who would tell us, here's what we're telling you, we can't put it in writing because we don't want to. And then Flex agents who fail to meet quotas for referring to Zillow Home Loans have been told they face losing out on Zillow Flex leads in the future. So this is crazy, but we also, our opinion is, because this is a lawsuit, and we know it is, but our opinion is most of this, from what we know, is 100% true.
Right,
We've seen
and
it
another
happen.
one of the big things that you and I had talked about is when everybody during the NAR lawsuit ended up having to pay in.
Right. Zillow, here you go. Zillow, if you look at their income based off the referral fees, and they are brokers across the country in every state,
Have to
I'm
be,
pretty sure,
yes.
that they were never named in the lawsuit and never had to pay a claim, even though they're getting 40% of the commissions on all these deals and all these lawsuits. All these large brokers had to pay outside of NAR. NAR covered all the smaller brokers
For the buyer.
for the lawsuit, the
buyer
settlement.
agents.
But Zillow never had to pay a dime and was never named in any of the claims for some reason because they get referral fees instead of commissions. Well, it's 40% of the commission. So guess what they're getting?
Right, and they are a broker.
They are a broker. So that again is also. So
They made more money than,
here's the thing.
if you add it up, they had to have made more money than anybody.
Right. You know, now there's a lot, the top teams, a lot of them across the country are Zillow Flex teams. And there's conversations going on. And I personally have not heard one counter anything that's been named in this lawsuit. I've heard anything that, you know, well, we have to go to this conference because we're a Zillow Flex team, so we have to go. Oh, and we have to pay a conference fee, and we have to travel. We had to go. We had a conference we were recently at that we know some people wanted to be at, but they couldn't because they had to be at the Zillow Follow Up Boss Unlock conference in Vegas to be at it, because basically that's how they have. They're a Zillow Flex team, so they said we have to be there, and so. It's really critical that the consumer starts to understand Zillow is not your friend. Yes, they have a great, easy website, and they were the first, and so they captured eyeballs. But speaking of capturing eyeballs, if you like us, we would love to have your eyeballs on us. So
Yes.
share us, like us,
us.
because we will not tell you the easy things. We're going to come at you and tell you, hey, this is going on in our industry and you need to be aware of it.
Right.
Because to tell you the
the
truth,
real deal.
lots of websites, in my opinion, are easy and as good to follow and as good to track homes and best look up. And
I mean, Zillow, half the homes are already under contract or were sold 2 months ago. Why are you even following them anyway?
So although they had, what happened was, it's kind of like, Xerox when they first started. Everybody calls it a Xerox machine in the beginning because Xerox was the first brand and they captured market share. When now they're copiers, they're not Xerox machines. And so, it was a branding issue, and Zillow captured the eyes and got it. Zillow is not a consumer's friend. So for us, please, 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 especially our clients, I don't care if you go look at it, but no, if you look at it, they're going to try to capture every piece of data they can on you and force you into their system. But in our mind, it's about the relationship. It's not about speed to lead. It's not about the numbers. It's not about how fast we can turn a transaction. It's not about selling you any house. For us, it's about selling you the right house.
Always.
And that's what's important. So until next time, it's Alan.
And Betsy.
See you soon.